Today I'll be showing you what's growing at Jacob's Aquarium. What's up everybody, I'm Jacob Castro and welcome to another video here on Jacob's Aquarium. Hope you guys are doing good and hope your tanks are doing good as well. So as I said, today I'll be showing you what's growing in my pond here at Jacob's Aquarium headquarters. Not everything of course, because I sell almost 100 different species of aquatic plants, but I'll be showing you a select few that I chose that I think just look amazing and will look amazing in your aquarium as well. But before we get to that, I just wanted to make a quick announcement. So I know you guys are typically used to me having a Black Friday sale around this time of the year, and I know you guys look forward to that sale every single year, and trust me, I do too. It's a lot of fun. But this year, unfortunately, I will not be having a Black Friday sale because of some things going on in my life. They're not necessarily bad things, but they're things that are costing me a lot of money. I don't know if you guys are aware, but here in California, home prices, rental prices, like living costs in general have gone up tremendously. And I recently moved and it cost me a lot of money to move. So I'm trying to recover from that. And you know, if you guys also aren't aware, with my Black Friday sales, I really don't profit a lot of money from these sales. It's pretty much enough money to cover a restock of my website after I sell everything, because I typically sell out every single year. So it's enough to cover a restock of my website, and there's a little bit left over, but not that much to invest back in the pond or go out and have a nice dinner or something, you know. It's really nothing like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, you know. It's nothing like that. But I would do these Black Friday sales and I would not really be too concerned about that, because I just wanted to give something back to you guys, because you guys have given me so much throughout the years that I've been on YouTube, and all my customers, especially on my website. So it was just something that I did as a really big thank you to everybody that has supported Jacob's Aquarium over the years. But unfortunately this year I just can't do that, because I can't afford to lose even the smallest penny that makes sense of profit. I really need as much money as I can get right now to recover from what I just had to spend to move. Okay, if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, look it up. Okay, it's all over the news, it's all over the internet. Things in California are ridiculous, and I'm actually considering moving out of California, hopefully sometime in the near future, because it's just becoming impossible to live here. The gas prices especially are killing me, and it doesn't help that I drive a car that's the size of a house as well, but you know, the gas prices alone just are killing me as well. So I won't be having a Black Friday sale this year. Long story short, I really apologize, but I hope you guys will still continue to support me and buy plants off my website and all that stuff. And next year, I promise I will definitely be able to have a Black Friday sale, just because I most likely would have recovered from all the financial craziness right now. So you can look forward to a Black Friday sale next year. All right, so now let's start talking about some plants. I just want to say really quick though, I know you guys are probably wondering what's going on with the greenhouse behind me. The greenhouse has been under construction for quite a long time. I haven't been able to get to it. I haven't been able to set it up. So you're pretty much just looking at the frame of the greenhouse just sitting over the pond. But pretty soon that'll be put together properly and it'll look like a proper greenhouse, okay? All right, so let's start talking about some plants. The first plant I want to show you that I just got in is Myro Green. This is a beautiful plant that I think will help you create the most gorgeous forest, lush, densely packed aquatic planted environment that you can ever dream of in a aquarium. And the reason being is because when this plant grows, it grows so dense, as I said, and you really can't even see what's behind it. So if you're looking for a plant that's gonna cover the entire back wall of your aquarium, or something that baby fish can hide in, or fish can hide in general, this is a really great plant. It doesn't go well with goldfish or large plants, of course. A lot of aquatic plants don't, just because goldfish and larger aquarium fish just tear plants up. But traditional planted tank fish, you know, it pairs well perfectly with them. So this is a great plant for people looking to create those types of aquascapes in their aquarium. And I just like it because the color, it's not just a green, but it's like a very vibrant green. It's a very bright green. It's something that stands out. And if you have it under some really bright LEDs in your aquarium, it's just gonna look incredible. It's gonna have a nice bright green neon effect. And I've grown it several times in several of my aquariums, and I just could not get enough of it. I just thought it looked so cool. And I also thought it kind of resembled like a sequoia forest or something, you know. That's why the picture I have on my website, I kind of shot it in a way to where each stem of the Myro green plant looks like a tree almost, you know. Even the leaves on this plant, the way that they kind of grow, they kind of look like branches. It's so cool. I just think this plant is great. I love it, and I can't wait to grow it again in a future planted tank that I hope to set up soon. I haven't had one in such a long time because I've been too busy managing my pond, but I hope to have one set up soon, and I definitely want to grow some Myro green in there. All right, the next plant is Lewiggia palustris, and I actually have two versions of this plant available on my website. And what I mean by that is I have one in its potted form, and I have one in a bundle. So I shouldn't say form, actually. It's just they're sold in two different styles. Styles better. So yeah, you can buy it in a pot or you can buy it in a bundle of stems, whichever you prefer. In my opinion, there's really not too much of a difference between pots and bundles. I mean, you probably do get more with a pot just because there's more growing in a pot. In a bundle, you typically get about 4 to 5 stems. So, and also I will say that potted plants are more mature, so their root systems are more developed than stem plants, because stem plants are typically sold as cuttings. So, I mean, I guess there are some differences, but not huge differences that, you know, make it seem like, oh, you have to buy a potted plant. You know, it's nothing like that. So, Lewiggia palustris, I've talked about this plant before because people have asked me, Jacob, what's the best red plant for my aquarium, or what's the most beautiful looking red plant? And it's really hard to answer that question just because there are so many gorgeous red plants out there. But most of the time when people ask me that, I always lean towards Lewiggia palustris, and it's just because the color of this plant is a deep dark red, but it does change over time, and it will change under different types of lighting as well. I mean, typically all plants will, just because, you know, the brighter the light, the darker the colors, the more dull light you have over your tank, the more you know, dull the colors will be. And also, you know, it depends on nutrients, fertilizer, things like that. But, you know, lighting plays a big role in the color of an aquatic plant. But with Lewiggia palustris, it will change based on lighting, but it'll also change based on just its development. You know, I noticed when it first, you know, when like new leaves come out, they're very, very bright red. And then as they exist on the plant, as time goes on and on and on and on, the leaves tend to get darker and darker and darker red until they're this very, very like maroon red, you know, like this really, really dark red. So it's a really nice contrast, because as this plant grows, you know, from the top, that is, not from the bottom, but as it grows from the top, you know, when new leaves come out, it changes. I think it looks cool, you know, and you kind of don't see that with a lot of aquatic plants. A lot of aquatic plants grow in a way where, you know, when the leaves comes out, that's how the leaf is going to be. It's not going to change color. It's not going to get brighter or darker. You know, it's just going to stay the way it is. But with this plant, you know, like I said, it grows a very, very bright red, and then it gets to a really, really dark red as the leaf has time to age on the plant. So I just think that's really cool. And I think if you're looking for a really nice red plant, this is definitely an interesting one at that. So I think that would help anybody achieve a red color, red environment in their aquarium. And I say red environment because I've talked to people that that's all they want to grow in their aquariums, and I try to tell them that it's going to look a little boring Because yeah, red plants are amazing and they're gorgeous, but when that's all you have growing in your aquarium, it looks very flat. It doesn't look really, you know, like two-dimensional. So I try to encourage people to, yeah, you know, try some red plants, but also, you know, bring some green ones in there, bring some white colored plants in there, you know, try to mix it up a bit, because it makes the planted tank look interesting. So I just wanted to explain that, because I know when you heard red environment, you're probably like, what? But that's what I mean by that. All right, next is, and I have to look at my phone to pronounce this, 'cause I have it written down right here, or I have it typed in, not written down. Eleutheris parvula. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I'm still learning these names of the new plants that I just started to sell. But yeah, this is one of the new plants I started to sell from Tropica. It's in a pot, and it looks exactly like hair grass. The thing is that it's not like a giant hair grass. It doesn't get really tall. So I would say it's more similar to like a dwarf hair grass. And I chose this plant from Tropica, and I chose to remove the dwarf hair grass I was selling from another supplier, because I don't know if you guys have watched my previous video, but I was having some issues with my previous supplier. They were selling me dwarf hair grass, but the bundles were like pencil thin, you know, and I told them I couldn't sell that to my customers, and they didn't want to change it, so I just said okay, whatever. So I decided to switch to an entirely different company, and that company ended up being Tropica. And so to replace dwarf hair grass, I decided to replace it with Eleutheris parvula from Tropica. So it's in a pot, and the ones I have right now are very, very developed. The root systems are busting out of the pots, which I think is really, really cool. So that means you're going to get a really healthy plant for your money. And not to mention, they're very, very affordably priced compared to other websites as well. So you'd be getting a really, really great deal. So this plant, like I said, is very similar to dwarf hair grass in the way that it grows. And what I mean by that, it's like it doesn't get too tall, it doesn't get too short. It's kind of like right in between. And it'll definitely carpet out just like all the other hair grasses, and it'll grow a nice dense carpet of hair grass. And you know, plants like these are best for tanks where you're breeding fish, because it gives the baby fish a place to hide. I know a lot of people like to suggest stem plants as a way of, you know, giving baby fish a place to hide, but in my opinion, densely growing foreground plants are the best things for a baby fish, because, you know, with stem plants, they like to grow vertically, obviously, and they don't really grow like a carpet. So what happens is you'll get a dense area of stem plants growing in your aquarium, and yeah, baby fish will hide in there, but they'll come out. They'll almost always come out, you know, to explore, and that's when they can get eaten by bigger fish, you know. With hair grass and with densely growing foreground plants in general, it gives baby fish a place to hide, but in a way where they can still explore the entire bottom of the tank, and they typically never have to leave the hair grass, because food will always settle down there. There's plenty of hiding spots down there, so they typically never have to leave. So the chances of a baby fish going out to explore out of the patch of hair grass is very, very slim. I've never really seen that. Typically, and I've done this before, when I've had a carpet of dwarf hair grass in my tanks and I've had baby fish in my tanks, I never see the baby fish. They're just always in there. I typically only see them once they're adults. So that's what led me to believe that when you have a foreground plant like this and baby fish, that they typically just never leave that foreground plant. So I think it's like the perfect plant for a tank that has baby fish in it, and it'll definitely help them stay alive. So if that's what you're doing, I'd highly recommend that plant. All right, and last but not least, I want to talk about a plant that I've been selling for many, many years, and something that's been a staple in the aquarium plant hobby, and that is cardinal plant, or Lobelia cardinalis. This is a really, really interesting plant, and I say that because you can grow this plant immersed or submerged, and when you grow it immersed, it's this like insane purple color, and it's just beautiful. But when you grow it immersed, it's more of like a bright green color. So I just want to make sure we have that straight from the right off the bat. But you can grow this plant 2 different ways, and the color is just amazing either way, in my opinion. And these plants have not been selling on my website. I'll be completely honest. They just have not been selling. So the ones that I ordered months ago have been growing in the pond all this time. And that means they're very, very developed. That means the root systems are huge. That means the plants have had time to grow tremendously. So if you're looking for a highly mature cardinal plant, these would be the ones to buy. And I don't really say that too often, because the majority of the plants that I sell, they come in, they go out. They really don't stick around too long in the pond because people buy them. But for some reason, these cardinal plants, or cardinal plants in general, on my website have just not been selling. So they've had a chance to sit in the pond and grow tremendously. I don't know why. Maybe people are just overlooking them when they look at the website. It happens. I'm sure you've been browsing a website and you've been trying to find something and it's literally been right in front of you, but you just can't see it. You can't find it, you know. Maybe the same thing's happening on my website, so I'll have to, you know, try to look at that and tweak it a little bit. But like I said, if you're looking for an extremely highly mature aquatic plant, these cardinal plants that I have in my pond right now have been growing for a while, so they're ready. They're ready for a new home. So with cardinal plants, I would classify them as a mid-ground or background plant, and the reason why is because they are a stem plant and they will just continue to grow until you trim the tops of them. So I say that because a lot of websites like to market this plant as a foreground plant, and I never understood why, because foreground plants, in my opinion, are something that stay very, very short and compact. They really don't grow that much, you know. And cardinal plants will grow huge. They'll grow, you know, almost a foot tall if you let them, you know, or even taller. Like I said, they don't stop growing. Stem plants do not stop growing in general, you know. So I would classify them as a mid-ground or background plant. It's not a plant that's going to grow very, very dense. It's something that's going to grow very, very is sparse, the word, you know. It's just it doesn't really, when it grows horizontally, it doesn't really develop new plants so close together. It kind of grows horizontally, but it kind of likes to spread out, you know. So you'll get a large patch of this, but it will take, or you can grow a large patch of this, but it'll take a long time because it is also a very, very slow growing plant. So if you're looking for something that you're not going to have to trim all the time, or something that's going to stay a certain size for a while, this is definitely a great plant for you. But it's not something that you can use as a, you know, densely, or you can classify it as a densely growing plant. It's something that grows very sparse and will send out runners all over the place, and you get little shoots, little stems of cardinal plants growing all throughout your tank, which I think looks cool. It kind of adds a little realism to your tank. You know, it kind of makes it look like, you know, things weren't, you know, specifically planted in certain places. They just, you know, grew naturally. So, and I like that. I like more natural looking tanks. I don't like tanks that are so, you know, put together and, you know, little patches here, little patches there. I just like things growing everywhere. So that's why I like this plant. So yeah, that's cardinal plant, and that's the last plant I wanted to talk about. And like I said, they're very, very mature. So if that's what you're looking for, buy them. And I know once this video goes out, they're probably going to be sold out. So just make sure you act quickly. All right, so that pretty much does it for this video here on Jacob's Aquarium. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And also, if you really, really like my videos, please consider subscribing. The subscribe button is just right there. It's very easy, takes 2 seconds. And also make sure you click the bell notification so that you're notified every time that I upload a video, okay? I appreciate you guys watching. It took a lot of effort today to break out the big cinema camera today for this video, but I wanted to, because I wanted to give you guys a good quality video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to buy any of the plants we talked about today, visit jacobsaquarium.com, where I sell almost 100 different species of aquatic plants, all at the most affordable price. And also don't forget to check me out on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, All my social media links, including a link to my website, will be in the description below. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have fun with your tanks.